Hey friends, how are you? Hope you're doing great. Greetings and good vibes over here from Meron, resting place of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And this week I wanted to share a little bit of insights on when is the right time to move. When is the right time to bust the move and to move to the next step, to take the next opportunity? Do we stay stagnant or not? So there's a lot of amazing tips that we find from this week's Parsha, the last week's reading, which is Ba'alotcha, where we read about the journey of the Israelites in the desert. And just a little bit of an intro to that. So the Israelites were encamped basically in 4 different camps. Each one had its specific flag, and the 12 tribes were divided by 3. And right in the middle was the tribe of Levi, which guarded the ark, the tabernacle, and they made sure to carry all the utensils of the tabernacle. Now, the journeys of the Israelites in the desert actually was supposed to take like 7 days. They were supposed to come right out of Egypt and eventually receive the Torah, and then just make it right to the Holy Land, to the Promised Land, to Jericho, to the plains of Jericho. But instead, because of various reasons, they were complaining. Don't complain, don't be negative, it doesn't work out for you. They had to go through 42 journeys in 40 years. And so the Baal Shem Tov, the Holy Baal Shem Tov, says that every single person in their lifetime has 42 journeys, 42 specific kind of like steps that they have to take, places that they have to visit, either in a physical place or mentally. They have to be in a specific place for a specific amount of time. And the Baal Shem Tov actually says that each and every day we go through 42 of those specific journeys. So something very powerful, that a journey could last for a day, it could last for 20 years, and it depends on when the cloud rose up. So here we go. These are the 3 things, the 3 signs of the Israelites in the desert to know that now is the right time, the next step to take in order to travel. First step was that there was a cloud. And so it says that the cloud rose in front of the tribe or the flag of Judah like a beam. And what the cloud represents is that inspiration, that calling in life that we have. It's a cloud. It's something that we can't really touch with our hands, but we realize something's calling us to the next step. We need to move. We need to go to the next step in life, and something has to move. Something has to change in the current state of things. That's the first sign. The second sign, so the Midrash says that it was the trumpets, but then Rashi actually says the second sign was the instruction of Moses. So Moses kind of said, now it's time to move. Not that there's just the clouds over there that are taking us, so it's not just the inspiration, it's actually bouncing off that inspiration, off a mentor, off the Moses that we have in our lives, those teachers, those leaders, those people that we look up to. And just something very important to note, that we may have a lot of different type of mentors in our life. We could have them for example, in our careers, in our private lives, in our spiritual lives. We could have those mentors, and it's very important to note that whoever that mentor is, it's important to stick to that one mentor, not to shop around and pick and choose, which is really a mistake that a lot of people make. So listening to Moses gives the instructions, and kind of like we think we've got a direction that we want to go, we want to take that next step, move to that next direction. It's important to bounce it off Moses, off that mentor, and to make sure that we're on the right direction and kind of like we're getting that guidance from the right place. So that's number 2. Number 3, okay, ready for this? Those are the trumpets. So it says that Moses had to create those 2 trumpets, silver trumpets, called chatzotzrot, and they were a sign for the traveling of the Israelites in the desert. That was the last sign, the trumpet. So what do the trumpets mean? So trumpets, actually chatzotzrot, they used to blow the tru'ah. And tru'ah is a blast, but tru'ah comes from the word re'ut, which is love, which is really translates into companionship, intense companionship. And that represents the level of psyching oneself up once they have that inspiration, once they bounced it off the mentor, and now they're going to that place. So they could be led to that place against their volition, and it's going to really like stink in it. They're not going to really like it. Or they could psych themselves up like athletes do, psych themselves up with those trumpets, those calls of the trumpets that are just like that feeling that they have inside of them. And in fact, it's interesting that in games, all types of sports competitions, you hear those little trumpets. Dee, dee, dee. What are they doing? They're psyching perhaps the athletes up and perhaps themselves up. So that's the word truah. Truah means a trumpet. But something very interesting, the Maggid of Mezrich says, the famous student of the Baal Shem Tov, that Chatzotzrot is Chatzi Surot, half shapes. That each person should realize that they're just a half, and they have their other half, their other companion, beloved companion, Re'i Mahuvim, V'afta l'reacha kamocha, you love your companion like yourself, and that is our Creator that we're essentially traveling with. So when we know that we're traveling with our ultimate companion, with a divine, with a godliness inside of us, so we know it's going to be great. And those 42 travels, each and every one of them is going to be awesome, and we're going to reach the goal, and everything that we're meant to learn in that specific step, we are going to get the ultimate out of, and essentially go on from coming out from Egypt, which is that place of birth, the first travel, all the way until the end, going to Jericho, the place, the highest sense, our highest faculty of reaching the divine, the highest state, the state of enlightenment, the highest level inside of us. So may we all reach that level and all be successful and have safe journeys throughout our lives. By the way, you could check out the note on this in the link below, which is all written up. And I hope you enjoyed. And please, leave comments below. And I really appreciate your friendship. And may we all find those companions also along the way to help us out. And once again, find that calling, find that Moses, and then get ourselves psyched up. So many blessings and have an awesome week.